Okay, yo, we're back. I got something to drink, so I will be less hoarse now, hopefully. And I fucking must have slept on my right hand wrong or some shit, because it fucking aches like I have carpal tunnel, or fucking like I wrote an essay or some shit. Where the hell were we? Oh, also, I think I fixed the audio. I don't know if there's an issue with that or not, but whatever. In case you wanted to hear things. Reaper Squad. We get hype. Oh, and I guess you can hire mercs and fucking Unix now. What? So, basically, what have we just done? We've gotten through to mission 6. No, not mission 6, mission 3. It is at around this time, I think, that I will set you guys free to just plow through it at your own pace. Because honestly, I really should not have to get through all of this, you know, on camera to really work it out for you guys. I'll probably try to post a speedrun later, and if you needed more help, then you can probably look at that. Anyhow, there's a couple things that you can probably take advantage of, being namely CEMGs now. Most people use the kayak. This thing has quicker reload though, and so for story it's going to be a little bit more useful too, I bet. What else? Let's see. Shotguns are okay. I mean, just at this this outlook, we have access to a lot of good stuff. We have Arganes, which are sweet. More ammo for you. Quicker fire rate. Not going to be better for ACs as much, but better for general use in story mode. This thing's not so good first gen fave. Hatsukari is just a pretty decent weapon. Let's see, do we unlock anything else that's nuts? Plasma guns are crazy. Laser rifles are okay. Heat piles. If you want to pile, go ahead and pile. Laser blades. Even these little knuckle duster things are pretty nasty. I wouldn't worry about tanks until much later, really. If you want to be nuts, just go ahead and use dual autocannon, and then if you find them unlocked for you, VTFs. Preferably so as not Model 2s, but whatever. Let's see, and there's really not much else in here that really needs a whole lot of explaining, I don't think. Let's see. Oh, okay, yeah, so look. So now we have access to, like, one of the top 3 generators in the game, which is the Hovital, the G23. This is going to give you really good EN output, or I should say, pardon me, top 4 generators, because after this comes the Suzumushi, which has basically no capacity, but the regen on it is insane. I'm going to get power boosters here, low consumption. I'd say stay away from these frickin' things, because you'll see my boost numbers take a tank, and while they do consume a whole lot less, they're also less efficient, which is interesting. And that means that you are really slow. So you're going to be pumping out a lot more boosts to get the same amount of distance and speed. Recon units, Rexes. I like these little things. These are really decent, I'd say. I mean, I prefer hover type recons. It's just the thing, I guess. Let's see what else. Yeah, no, this rifle, the Valdosta is what it used to be called. Pretty decent standard rifle that you're going to be using a lot. Full power spec is good for that. Nave, stay away from this gun. You'll notice, comparatively, the fire rate is atrocious. Basically defeats the purpose of it. If you have issue with ammo, maybe use one of these. I'd say maybe try to avoid it if you can. If you want to be really nuts, you can rapid fire tune this thing, and that would be badass. Rapid fire tuning works pretty frequently. Not in every case, but in some cases it can be pretty effective. Personally, I'd say just go ahead and experiment, and you know, just find what suits your fancy. I don't think we've unlocked a whole lot of much else in here. CIWS. Yep, no. So that's basically it for you. Basically, throughout story mode, just the last tip that I'm going to give you is that this sort of 3-weapon combo where you have your KE weapon, your CE weapon, and your TE weapon here in the back. You know, just it gives you damage options against the whole range of defenses, so you can't ever really have too big of a problem trying to take down an enemy. An issue that I see new players have is that they will, they'll just like, they'll have like, for example, like they'll have a rifle and then behind it they'll have like a Gatling gun or something. And this, to me, really serves no purpose, because both of these weapons accomplish basically the same thing. And stacking damage types is just weird. I definitely recommend against it. Unless it's like solids in case you need the ammo. Another thing that can work is if you, in your third slot back here, personally I'll throw a melee weapon back here just because, like, it's story mode, why the hell not? Melee can be really helpful for you sometimes. You could throw a pile here for taking on ACs and whatnot, or a shield if you're finding that necessary. But something else that you can do is, like, you can just toss a CEMG back here, and now you have, well, a lot of damage output, basically. Yeah, like between the DPS from the heat machine gun and the pulse machine gun, you will take down a lot of stuff on the lighter scale of things, and this is more for middle-of-the-road threats that have reasonably decent KE. Its DPS is not as crazy as that CEMG on your back, but it's maybe a little bit more reliable at middle ranges. Your battle rifles, these things, they pretty much lock slow, but against story mode enemies they will be wandering right towards you, so that's not really that big of a deal. And you can kind of just shred them, honestly. Although the bullets will tend to not really hit all that much in close combat, especially because we're using an auto crit. FCS, you'll see our weapon handling, lock computation down here is really not so hot. So it's going to take a long time to lock on, but I mean, in the event that you do lock on, I guess we're reinforcing good habits and keeping your lock ring on the target to get your more damage out. Use it on things that really can't avoid it, or that are weak to it. Most things will be though, so go ahead and fire that, unless the PMG over here is, you know, just itching for some hits. Alternatively, you can just double up on things like dual-wield CMGs or something. That's really not normally my cup of tea though. And again, if you're using a midweight, CE head, TE core, CE arms, and your midweight legs are a pretty decent option for getting your defenses out there. Middle of the road speeds, I can't go up that high, unfortunately. Your high boost at about 300 plus is a really nice number. Normal boost can fluctuate a little bit. Say try not to go lower than, what, 128? Although these are really just arbitrary numbers, and I'd say use whatever the hell you're comfortable with, because I do that all the time. Something that I will discuss really briefly in this is, I guess, some important stats that you're going to want to watch out for. I'll probably cover this in its own video as well, but some stats are cumulative. Like, let's look at this. So your stability computation over here is, you know, your balance, blah blah blah, recoil. This is going to affect your stability and recoil resistance over here, as well as your turning performance and generally your booster speed. Couple that with things like your stability control, movement control, and turn performance and whatnot. That could affect a lot of stuff over here. So you'll see it says nothing about mobility in here, but if I go to something with less, then my speed decreases. Although note that says my weight is going up, so let's see, let's try this. So this is a lot less, and you'll see my speed goes down by quite a bit. I lose 40 points of turning. Now, stability, again, it says nothing about turning in here, does it? Well, that's just something you need to watch out for. General food for thought, general rule of thumb, I should say, is CE heads have good internal stats you can you can make good use of. I picked something with decent scanning performance. KE heads have great scanning. This doesn't because it's a junk head, but you get the idea. TE heads are kind of middle of the road on this, but they're really more for bulkier ACs. Although with CE parts, I'd say try not to stack too many of them because they have pretty high drain, so watch out for that, because you can find yourself with not a whole lot of energy to work with. Yeah, TE cores, low recon units, but typically a good balance of defenses, especially for midweights. A lot of people prefer, I guess, the whatever you call them, the recon cores, where you see this thing has 65 recon. Some of them have 90, and I think there's one that has maybe more than that. I don't remember. If you like to spam out your recons, or you find yourself just smashing that fucking B button, then go for it. Let's see. Firing stability is an important stat. This determines basically your shot placement, and where it says less recoil, well, yeah, reload time is determined by your firing stability. So if you use TE arms with low firing stability, or some KE arms have low firing stability, these sort of do, your fire will be decreased kind of substantially. And that's definitely worth noting on weapons with slower fire rates already. So for example, like our Podenka here, which has rather high load times, that's going to be an issue for you. It's going to really lower your overall damage per second. Let's see, what else to talk about? I guess defenses as well is just keep in mind that these things all add up eventually and turn to the numbers there on the right. Same thing with AP. That's pretty much it, I'd say. There's not really a whole lot that needs to be mentioned here. Keep an eye on your drain, or your drain we call energy consumption as well. That's just sort of how it is. Let's see, lock-on size is something that's important as well. Be careful with that, you don't want to make it too small. Lock-on range is the range you lock on at, and that's modified by your camera performance. I don't remember it off the top of my head how this works, but I think it's your camera performance minus like 500 or so, or I don't remember. I'll need to go check it out, and I'll probably just drop that formula in here as an annotation that will allow you to calculate your actual lock-on distance, which might be helpful for some of you. Again, something else to note is your lock computation and missile lock computation are split, and your missile locks are different. So this, you can see, is kind of a missile FCS. We're not really using missiles a whole lot. We're actually just using it for the lock size and the lock range at this point. But that's not really a big deal for us, because we're playing story at the moment, and that's not that big a deal. If you are playing for PvP, you're going to want to bump up your lock speed significantly, so like try to get something with high lock-on computation. I would say definitely stay away from these frickin' things as much as you can. Yeah, the long-range FCSs are just not fun. Generator-wise, well, let's go back to the shop and see what we can buy. But basically, I think that's about it that I wanted to talk about in this little segment. You should be pretty well served by all this information, I hope. But, yeah. When I fall silent, you know that I'm out of things to talk about. So there you have it, folks. Yeah, so I guess I'll see you guys in the next episode. Unless I smash out a couple more of these tonight, we will see. But overall, this will be a pretty decent story build for you to go through. Most missions, I'd say. I wouldn't really worry a whole lot about it. And we'll drop it in here. You can look at it, and all of it's really mediocre glory, I guess. Oh, and I forgot to change out the recon unit, but whatever. Recon is usually, especially like when you post a build in the forums, you leave out recon because it's really inconsequential in most cases. So yeah, that's that for you guys. With that kind of knowledge, you should probably be able to clear through the story, no problems. I may show how to do some of the story missions, or I'll just show myself completing some of the story missions with this AC, or at least an AC like this, just to sort of give you a rundown of it. And yeah, that should be about it, guys. So this will be, I guess, the ending of this little day one tutorial thing. So at this point, what, it's been maybe like an hour or two into it, and you have all the tools you need, really, to beat the story mode. As you progress, you'll be unlocking more stuff in the shop. If you're ever having issues with an enemy AC, or an enemy just in general, make sure to scan it, check its defense numbers, switch the appropriate weapons, figure out what's damaging you so hard. If you really need help, go pack a shield. That can really do a lot. Yeah, that's about it. So, catch you guys next time.